Hi, everyone. Welcome to Helpful Home Buying and Home Selling Tips. I am Lori Cianella. I'm with Blue Crab Realty, and part of what I like to do is introduce the local businesses, local restaurants, local attractions to Burtonsville. And today we have Jessica Rodriguez from Cuba de Ayer. And Jessica, I'm so grateful that you joined me today. And why don't we start off with you telling me a little bit about the history of the restaurant?
Hi, it's a pleasure. Yeah, no problem. So we are here local in Burtonsville. We've been here since 2005. So we've got 16 years under our belt. And we just started as a small family restaurant. Had an idea that I wanted to bring Cuban food to this area. We don't have a lot of Cuban food options, a lot of Latin and Hispanic options, but we don't have any Cuban options. And we wanted to make sure that we were able to bring that into this area. And so we decided to just open up one day. And fortunately for me, I was able to recruit, of course, my husband and myself, and my mother-in-law. She was willing to do the cooking for us. I was about 6 months pregnant when we started this venture with my second child, and that was a blessing. So she was able to, help us with the cooking. So we're using all of her recipes, and fortunately, the community welcomed us, and we've been here since.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I can definitely vouch for how delicious the food is. I don't exactly, when did you open? I can't remember.
It was March of 2005, the end of March. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And you did explain to me some of the differences between Cuban food and other Latin food. Could you explain that, please?
Yeah, so a lot of the Latin food in this area is a little bit more Central American. So you have Mexican food and you have Salvadorian food, which is delicious and it's my go-to. But it is very different style than Cuban food. So we don't have any, burritos or tortillas or any of those tacos. We have mostly, our food consists of primary rice, beans, and plantains, and then it usually is accompanied by a protein, whether it be chicken, fish, beef. Our cuisine is a little bit pork heavy because traditionally the Cuban food does have a lot of pork dishes, but we also have dishes that don't involve pork, which is helpful in this area because there's a lot of, non-pork eaters in this area. So we can accommodate both. But it's just very flavorful. We use a lot of spices in our food, but non-spicy spices. So we use a lot of garlic and onions and green peppers and oregano and cumin. So just a lot of seasonings, but none of which is spicy. So our food in general is not spicy. And that's another misconception that people have, especially trying to relate us with Mexican food. I think sometimes they feel that because we're from the Caribbean or because it's Hispanic, that they assume it's a little bit spicy, but quite the opposite. It's just very flavorful.
It is very flavorful, and the lack of heat, so to speak, is what enabled me to be able to bring my children there because they never embrace spicy food. So, but it was always a place that it's always been a place that I could take my family and my kids. Even now that they're adults, they're not quite as into spicy. And but the food, I've always had amazing meals there. And so Jessica and I met because our kids both attended Cloverleigh Elementary School, and I was doing staff appreciation, and Cuba de Ayer hosted lunch for the teachers a couple of times. So definitely community-minded, community outreach on that end.
Yes.
Are there other community events that I'm not aware of that you'd like to share about, or community outreach?
We participate in most things that people ask of us. We do a lot of, like the Council High School, we do a lot of things with them. Cloverleigh and some schools in Howard as well. And even just some like local offices, like local doctors' offices, or, I know the Taste of Montgomery County, Taste of Burtonsville. We work with them sometimes on some things. So usually if people reach out, we try our best to get involved if we can.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I also, as you and I spoke about on the phone, I'm very grateful to see that you all survived COVID. What was the pivot that you think helped you all stay above water during that horrible shutdown time?
Oh gosh, COVID. It's amazing because throughout all of COVID, customers used to always come in and ask, oh, how are you doing? And just even people that we know from the community. So how's it going? How are you doing? And I used to tell everybody we are blessed, amazingly blessed. And say, oh, so you're doing well. And I said, no, 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 we're not doing well because COVID is hurting everybody. I said, but even though we're not doing well, I feel so blessed because we do have so many local customers that would walk in and they'd simply say, we're just trying to do our best to support now to hopefully, have you guys still around once this is all over. And even though you can't compare, COVID sales to normal sales, it was definitely enough to at least keep us hanging on. It was able to allow us to keep a lot of our employees employed, and we were able to survive. So therefore, I feel incredibly blessed and just so happy to have so many people just say to us, "We want to make sure you're around when this is all done with." So our community has been amazing.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Oh, I just thought of another community outreach type of thing. I see many, many paint branch students over the years working there. So the hiring of the local students and so forth, I know has been a blessing to many families.
Yes, so we have. We try to participate with the local high schools and try to work with their on-the-job training program, and even because they have the half-day programs, but even just weekends. So we have been very blessed to be able to have those schools around us that we can, reach out to and share experiences with them in terms of either giving some of the on-the-job training people an opportunity to work here, or us finding employment on the weekends of just regular students who don't have the on-the-job training opportunity. It's been very helpful, especially right now, because right now it's been a little tough to hire. Staffing has been a little bit of an issue, and we tend to find ourselves a little bit short-staffed, or actually quite a bit short-staffed for the last few months, the last year. But I see where it's improving and it's slowly getting better as people are starting to be willing to be out in the workforce again. So yeah, that's been very helpful having the students.
That is wonderful. How about your boys? Do they participate in the family business?
So one of my children's of age to be working, and he's constantly requesting to be able to work. He does keep a busy schedule because he does a lot of sports, so it gets tricky. But of course, when they were kids, I have pictures of them all washing dishes, and they were constantly in the restaurant whenever, just to spend time with me. As they've gotten busier with their day-to-day activities, it's a little bit harder, but I do have one child who's constantly wanting to be, he's like, Mom, please put me on the schedule, put me on the schedule. So we've been trying to work that out. He's actually been working a little bit here and there to help me out because I really needed the help. But yeah, they will definitely continue, as anytime they have a free schedule, they will be here.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Oh, probably should have asked you this earlier. Why don't you share your address, exact location in Burtonsville, and phone number and website address?
Yeah, so we're right in the center of Burtonsville. Our address is 15446 Old Columbia Pike, Burtonsville, Maryland, 20866. Our telephone number is 301-476-9622, and we're located right on 198 between the Rita's Ice and the Subway. We're right behind the beer and wine, so we are a little bit in the back. Sometimes it's missed when driving past 198, so it's got to look for those two landmarks, but we're right behind the beer and wine in the back.
Wonderful. And I did notice last time I went there, I made a reservation where I hadn't necessarily done that pre-COVID. So also a suggestion, I'm assuming, to make a reservation.
Yeah, we definitely can call, make a reservation anytime. Our days are hit or miss. Most days I feel like, we have not gotten back to pre-pandemic, fillings. So on most days, reservations not required, but we definitely suggest them just to guarantee and make sure that we're ready for you when you come in. So especially if it's bigger parties, we do recommend that you make the reservations, but walk-ins are welcomed as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All righty. Is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you'd like to share with the community or with anyone?
I think you've done a great job asking questions and getting to the heart of what we are and what we do. I just know that we do our best because this cuisine is new to a lot of people, we are always very interested in making sure people leave happy. Sometimes people are a little bit nervous or afraid of what Cuban food is. And earlier you talked about, being able to bring your kids and how they will eat the food. And I think one of the biggest satisfactions I have is that because our cuisine is so well liked by a majority of people, getting them to try us for the first time is probably a little bit of our hardest thing to overcome. But once they try it, almost guaranteed, they come back within a week or two and become long-term customers of ours because they realize that our cuisine is actually not too different and it's very diverse, very well liked. So other than that, no, I think you've touched on everything, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to the community a little bit.
You are very welcome. Yeah, last time I was in there was just a couple of weeks ago, and not only did the server ask if we'd ever been there before, but also we had a couple of questions. My daughter has some dietary issues, and the server was very knowledgeable and very helpful. So it was, as always, a wonderful experience. But thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, and everyone out there who's interested in learning.
Well, thank you.
And again, I'm Lori Cianella. I am with Blue Crab Realty. This is Helpful Home Buying and Home Selling Tips. We've been talking to Jessica Rodriguez from Cuba de Ayer, a family-owned and operated delicious restaurant here in Burtonsville. Please like, share, comment, definitely subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.